How you doing, Brian?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good. All right, what kind of car do we have here, Brian?
It's a 69 AMX, American Motors AMX. They were made, this particular body style was made only for 3 years, 68, 69, and 70. This is a 69. In the 3 years that they were made, there were only about 15,000 made in those 3 years. So it's a pretty rare car. Underappreciated though. Not too many people even know what they are. So.
Now what's that? It's an interesting paint color on there. You want to explain that?
Yeah, actually this color is called Surfside Turquoise. It's actually a 1971 American Motors color. But you know, the color was really unique color, so I thought it would look good on this car. So.
I like it.
Thanks.
And how many years ago did you?
Let's see. I have this for about, I have it for about 5 years now, 4 or 5 years now. And I found it actually on eBay, and it was over in Medina, Ohio, and I had a lot of pictures of it on there. I talked to the guy quite a bit, and so that's how I ended up finding it. But before I put any money on it, though, I actually went and saw it before I gave him any money, just in case. But it was what he advertised. So.
Did you trailer it home, or?
Yep, trailered it home.
Yeah. Where exactly is Medina, Ohio?
Let's see. It's kind of in the middle of Ohio. I'm trying to think. It's near. I'm trying to think of the name of the town. It's near the town where they have the soapbox derby races.
Akron.
Akron, that's it. I couldn't remember it. Thank you. Yeah, it's real near Akron, Ohio. That's where it was. So.
And any interesting stories since you've had it, Brian?
Well, not on this particular car, probably. You know, I have some interesting stories with some other cars, but not so much this one. I mean, when I got it, I did have to do a few things. I guess the only interesting, come to think of it, I guess one interesting story was after I got it home. We live on a private road, and I took it up and down the road, and when I hit the brakes on it, this doesn't have power steering. When I hit the brakes, it whipped the steering wheel out of my hand, and I was fighting to keep it on the road. Luckily, it was on a private road without any traffic, and it turns out that the one brake cylinder on the front was bad, so without power steering, it just it gets your attention real quick. So I guess that's the only
make your heart beat.
Yeah, definitely. So that's probably the only interesting story I have on it. So
gotcha.
Yeah,
that's a nice looking car.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for talking to me.
Sure, thank you.
All right. with Jack. How you doing, Jack?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine. Well, here with Jack, he's got a 78 Z28, I believe?
79 Z28.
Okay, well, tell me a little bit about this car.
It's an original Rochester car. Came out of Clark Chevy in Avon, and it has 29,000 miles on it. Totally unrestored. Original paint, original interior. Only thing changed a little bit is the engine's been changed. It is the original block in it, but it's built a little bit. Runs 300 horsepower on its own, but it also has a 150 horsepower nitrous kick in it. So it's a little fun car. Pulls a few surprises when it's out there.
You ever use the nitrous?
Yes. Usually, lots of times I'll turn on the bottle and it's on, and it's triggered on the inside of the car. There's two little switches that you flip, and you get it on demand from the shifter. And when you hit it, you get an instant 150 horsepower. So it sets you back in the seat. Actually, it breaks the wheels loose. You really got to feather it in when you do it, because before you know it, the back end's in front. But other than that, it's just all original. Like I say, she has not been touched. Interior is all the same and everything. She's stored at my house with my other cars, and she's babied. As the wife says, the cars get treated better than she does.
Now the interior, do you do anything special to keep that in real good shape?
I use like stuff for plastic and that type of stuff, and it's constantly wiped down. The car's never out in weather. If I can at all help it, it honestly never gets rain on it. I'm pretty fussy with all the cars. That pretty much what I do is, if it looks like rain, I'm not out there. But what we try to do is, you know, keep it. It's not waxed that often because water really won't. I don't even wash them. They're all stored pretty much dry, and they're wiped down using like the Meguiar's Quick Wax and that type of stuff to keep the interior and the exterior nice. So other than that, we try not to put them in any bad weather if we can at all help it.
So how many miles are on it?
This has 29,000. Our family is the original owner, yes. Gotcha. Yep. I had an exact car like this younger. This one was my brother-in-law's, and he kept his. I didn't, but then he decided to get rid of his. I took this one over. So I've had this for quite a while, and you know, it's a car that we bought. I remember going to the day with him, trying to buy it. So it's been in the family from day one.
Yeah. How much do you actually drive it around?
On this car, I'll probably put about maybe 1,000 miles a year on it. I try to rotate between my other cars and that type of stuff to try to keep the miles down on all of them. So, especially on the ones that are original. Since this hasn't been restored, the value really is to keep the miles down and keep it all original if you can. So that's what I try to do.
Yeah. You work on it yourself?
Yes. My brother behind me is a mechanic. We're both gearheads, grew up in this era, and we do all of our own work. The only thing I wouldn't do is body or paint work, because if I did that, it wouldn't look like it does now. But we do all our own mechanical, yeah.
So what's your favorite thing to do in this car?
Drive it. I do like getting on it and doing the nitrous, and you know, but I don't try to hit them all anymore. I mean, you don't want to break them. It gets costly now to fix them, to get parts for them. Although on this car, being relatively new, it's a little easier to get parts than it is on some of the real older ones. But you know, they are still fun to drive. They're nice to cruise in. People look at it, people wave to you. I mean, to me, that's the fun part. I do car shows, but for me, it's the meeting the people, getting out with the people, talking to people, and reminiscing about their stories. Sometimes they've had the cars, and to me, that's the fun part of it. That's what I like to do the best, is probably doing like what this is, a cruising night, where no pressure, nobody with trophies, just having fun.
Well, I appreciate the time.
All right, well, thank you.
All right, thanks, Jack. right, Scott, so what kind of truck do you have here?
It's a 2004 Ford F-250 Super Duty diesel. It's got a 6.0 diesel in it. Got a programmer for it. Got an intercooler in it, so gives a little bit more power.
What do you do with a programmer?
You can turn it up to, you can boost up more power, and can do all kinds of stuff with it. I don't know how to do it. I got a buddy that does a lot of that stuff.
Okay. So, I don't know, did you buy this from the dealer just like this, or did you do a little work on it?
No, I bought it in pieces. It was 100% taken apart, and brought it home, and me and all my buddies put it together and lifted it, put the big tires on it, and just to help keep it nice, just drive it a little here and there.
Probably pretty good in the mud.
No, this one does not go in the mud. This one is just for on the road. Got another one for in the mud.
So did you tell me what size is the engine?
It's a 6-liter diesel.
All right. Any interesting stories around surrounding the old truck? A 6-year-old truck.
I don't think so. It's not a gas saver by any means. It's an eye catcher, and we definitely have a lot of fun with it. Driving to the concerts and different mud runs.
Are those exhaust pipes for showing, or are they actual?
No, they're real. They're hooked up.
So you probably could take this thing apart in what, an hour?
Probably 2. And then a half an hour to call the crew to help.
What kind of PSI on the tires? I'm just kind of curious, you know.
20. I just checked them last weekend. 20.
Anything else you want to talk to me about?
Hi, how are you?
Go to barnyardboggers.com and you can check out all our mud trucks.
Oh, shameless promotion.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for talking to me, Scott.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Isn't it? Isn't it?
Push the him. Push EVM. Push the EVM. Push the EVM.
Victory or death. Victory or death. Truly meaningful in our lives. Step in our lives. Truly meaningful in our lives. Step back and take stock of what is truly meaningful in our lives. In our lives. In our lives. Truly meaningful in our lives.